Katika kipindi tunakuletea wasanii.
What's up my guys, I go by the name Reynams.
Eti nikipita kwa macho na nipimia, na kama sina pesa unguwezi nipimia. Hapa Shenster the Poet manze.
Ngoma moto moto.
If you wanna show some love, I don't fake it. Ida kumenya mawazo makuu nani anadera shule warutani waku
Vichekesho mkisongaza mahojiano moto moto, stori za wasanii pamoja na talanta za wasanii.
Fiki wa kasi gani kama wapatikani wakati wa shida.
Na pia kwenye kipindi utabambika, utajijenga, utaelimika, utakuza talanta yako.
My name is Rebecca Mutie, I'm a model and I'm Afri Kenya. I'm a student. Napenda kusikiza kipindi cha Bonga na Katoni kila Jumatatu kuanzia saa 9 mpaka saa 10.
Kumbuka ni kwenye Bonga na Katoni ndani ya TAS TV kuanzia saa 9 hadi saa 10 kila siku ya Jumatatu.
This is Bonga na Katoni in TAS TV. Karibuni.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on that time that you get to watch this amazing program. It's another beautiful Wednesday and it's time for counting the red ribbons. And on this episode, we want to talk about this year's theme for World AIDS Day, which was actually let the communities lead. So what exactly has the community done over the time? So our main focus of the day is community involvement and leadership in addressing the fight against HIV and AIDS. So we're going to provide a very comprehensive discussion on this specific theme and how it has helped or it has benefited the community in general. So karibuni sana to today's episode, and like I always say, niko na mgeni, and once again amerudi tena to help us talk about this topic. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Please, to our new viewers or probably to people who are watching us for the first time and they haven't met you, please introduce yourself and tell us what you do and where you're coming from. Yeah.
Thank you so much. My name is Griffin Enani.
Yeah.
I'm the project coordinator of the mental health program with the Gates of Hope, which is our health facility at Kamenu in Makongeni.
Yes.
And of course, we are doing this in partnerships with the USAID, Kenyatta University, as well as Yali East Africa. And I love the community. That's why I'm a community person.
And that's really awesome. So looking at this year's theme, let the communities lead. How has it evolved over time, and why is it very important that the community, or rather the people in the community, are the ones who are on the forefront to help in the fight against HIV and AIDS?
Thank you. It's a good theme, and it's a good initiative initially, and all along you realize that we've been doing this with the help of development partners, the NGOs, the Red Cross, the USAID. But who are the people who are really feeling the pain? They're not them. It's us. It's the community. And for that to create a good engagement between these partners, then there should be a community involvement, which is intentional.
Yes.
And over time, you realize we'll be having issues. Yes, it's us having issues, but who are helping us to tackle those issues are people from outside or partners. But I think a problem is well solved if you are the lead of that problem in that house.
In that house.
I'll use an example. The father knows the problem that he has in that house. Therefore, I don't think someone else can come outside and come and provide a good solution. Even if you provide a good solution, it must be headed by the household, isn't it? By
the household,
And I see the community lead. It's a good initiative, which I think one is actually creating social accountability, whereby it's the community themselves and the people themselves looking for homegrown solutions to tackling social issues that are affecting their community.
Exactly.
As well as leading, so that they're able to, share with those who are willing to support, and they're supported accordingly, and supporting the issue that is affected, as opposed to someone coming and helping and leaving.
Yeah.
And once he leaves, whatever at the point he left, everything dies there.
Yeah.
But now if committee comes in, they actually one is appreciate that yes, this is a problem. Second, this is a problem that can deal with yourself. Should their person want to support us,
Yeah.
they let him just come find us, supporting yourself.
Yes.
To just push us ahead. Yes.
Okay, so what would you say are some of the ways that there have been put in place for communities, or ways that the communities are actively participating to make sure that they help in this fight?
Of course, one and foremost is community sensitization. This, if you don't know, then you might not know how to deal with it. Na unasema asiyejua maana ambiwi maana, because even if you're told you don't know, then utasaidia. So I feel one of the ways the community is being helped is actually through those community outreach, sensitization, and the most important thing, the government has brought in the aspect of universal health care, and of course this has been integrated into health system, whereby we have supported our community health volunteers to be the lead in the community. And therefore, through that, already you see the government in the community, in as much as the community also, in as much as the health CHPs are also coming from the community.
Yes.
So these are partnership with the community and the government, but through the community dwellers, who are the peer educators, who are the community health volunteers, who are community mentor mothers, that helping community to understand the pangs of this AIDS and virus, as well as the best method to tackle it.
Yes. Okay, so there's this aspect of, community health promoters, the CHPs.
Yes.
So going to the community could sometimes be a bit of a challenge, and especially for them, and talking about HIV. So the reception that they get in the community, how do they make sure that reception yenye wanapata pale is actually something that they could handle? Because I have seen circumstances where the community actually accuses you of being positive because you're actually spreading the news. So how then wanasaidiwa aje?
Thank you for the good. It reminds me of myself. There's a friend of mine also, he didn't know that I work with an NGO that's supporting people with HIV.
Yes.
So after some time, he says, why didn't you tell me you're living with HIV? So I said, what made you think I am? Because I saw you work with the HIV organization. Then I said, sometimes it's a strategy. Yeah, it's a strategy that sometimes if you're talking to a youth or a group of people that does not understand you, or when you talk about HIV issues, they'll actually feel like you're not talking anything. Then sometimes you say, you actually put yourself in, as an ethnographer.
Yeah.
You take time to live in a community, try to understand doing what they do. Before you come up with strategies that help.
Strategies, yeah.
So those are just some of the strategies. You can be part of it. You can say, yes, I'm a community. I live in the community. I'm also living with HIV, and this is how I tackled it.
Yeah.
No one will kill you, and no one wants to know if it's truth.
Yeah.
But again, we don't care what people talk. But as long as you provide a solution. So some of the what you say is true.
Yeah.
Some of the CHPs or CHPs have faced walls in terms of supporting household.
Yeah.
One, if the CHP is not respectful or is not respected in the community, they are looked at. The community looks at the CHPs as a voice of reason.
Yeah.
In that sense, then if a CHP comes and provide a solution, there are those houses that one will not hesitate to hear or listen, because these CHPs do not only provide. They don't just provide one service.
Yeah.
They are there to provide multiple services by the government and other partners. There are those who are providing education, there are those who are providing school fees, there are bursaries, those who provide child protection. So their work is to link this household to these services.
Yeah.
So they're actually on the lookout of which services is needed by this household. So if you're not respected, if there's no good relationship with the community members, it means your work might be difficult. Yeah, the household might not open door for you. Therefore, even provide those services will not meet the intended people. As well as the opposite is true. When these CHPs have good relationship with the household and the community, and they're respected, they just need to say or just call for a meeting or just send a word and the people will come because they understand, they believe this person has always good things, he has always good information, he has always right information that is trustworthy and truthful.
Yes.
So for any time you call for such a forum, they'll actually come and listen to you.
Okay.
And if it comes to matter of mobilization, they'll be able to do the matters of immunization, they'll be ready to immunize. They do not care what, they believe what you're saying is true because you are trustworthy and you represent facts anytime you're talking to them.
Anytime you
Exactly.
actually engage them. So
That's
considering the diverse nature of communities, how are the efforts being made to address the intersectionality factors influence HIV and AIDS, such as gender, race, and the sexual orientation of somebody?
Well, truthfully speaking, apparently there's no one who can be excluded from such issues.
Yeah.
They affect anyone. It should be whether you're a male, female, race, from black, white. But again, what I will say is the community beliefs and attitudes. How do we view? Like as I said, sometimes when you find a lady HIV, the first thing you think is you give her her name. How did you get it? And yet other people got to HIV because they were born out of it.
Yeah.
Others, it was someone just who came and maybe they cut themselves. There are many ways of.
There are many reasons.
Yeah. So depending on the beliefs and systems that are embedded in a given community, it might work against or towards discriminating or creating a name about a given people or a given people who are living the HIV. But the most important thing, through this kind of community support systems and the government personnel trying to go ahead and sensitize the community, create awareness. Because one thing, as I said, information is power. Yeah. Once someone sensitizes you and once you know the information about someone or about something, then you are able to work around it or able to deal with it in a more enlightened way and more best way. As opposed to if you don't have information, you don't have anything about it, but you're struggling to walk, just like a child walking in the dark, or someone walking in the dark. Yeah. But you need light, and therefore means you need people in the community to walk with you, to hold your hands. We need those sensitization meeting. We need also to make sure, that these days of African child, the day of HIV, like the day we are celebrating the other day on Friday, the community lead. When you do such kind of activities, then people open their hearts. So we have this kind of thing. So issues with gender, issues of race might not be raised so much. And of course, male involvement. Who came up with the issue, gender issue? Just male involvement. You bring men into these issues. Men are supposed to be supporting women. Men are supposed to be supporting, supposed to be leading these initiatives. Yeah. Then aspect of gender, we may not really emanate a lot, and actually to not actually create an impediment for us to consume information, as well as to create demand for more services. Yes.
Okay. So let's now look at the young people. What is their role, or what role are they playing in in the efforts to fight against HIV and AIDS, and how can they be actively involved in this kind of activities in the community?
Well, young people, yes, they're playing a part, and in as much as we talk about these triple threats, HIV, SGBV, and teen pregnancy. Teen pregnancy. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. But again, we cannot just in a blanket say it's affecting all youth. There are people who are enlightened. There are people who have at morals authority. There are people who have good manners. So one is I've seen young people in arts. They use arts to talk about HIV. They use art to talk about, they use music to talk about HIV. They use all this art, martial art to talk about HIV. Just, of course, even fostering sports activities within the community. Yeah, of course, the intention not about playing football. The intention about bringing more young people to a one-stop shop, so they're able to be informed about the severity of HIV, severity of mental health, the kind of things. So yes, young people have been involved, and of course in different arts and scenes, as well as in sports, which helps to actually to address such. And I think the most important thing is to emphasize on the mentorship programs, in the community, in the churches. Because young people, yes, they are the versatile people, as well as the most affected. So what do we need to do? We need actually to, first and foremost, engage them in the activities or initiatives that help us to reduce the pangs of HIV and spread of HIV and reinfection. Or actually, one, by, building their capacity through giving information. Those also identifying those who are vocal and making them now the leaders of the young people. Creating those groups in the community, creating, going for those dens, young people in the dens, who are mirror dens, whatever, those betting dens, we need to take it initiative whereby we are training these people wherever they are. We don't wait for them to come. And anytime they are coming, of course, wameshindwa. By the time you see a young person coming to you, you need support. Amelemewa. Exactly. So instead of us waiting for walemewe, let us go to those dens, meet them those dens, raise young people, identify those people who, in the community we have those people who have a voice. People, other youth look at them. So we need to seek those people at most, and then we use them as our change agents to talk to the young people.
And I actually like what most influencers are doing right now, and sana the TikTok influencers.
That's right.
They're actually using that channel to communicate to the younger generation of people who are sana the Gen Z. That generation bracket.
Exactly.
Okay, so away from that, we have community-led organizations. A good example is your organization, Gates of Hope. So how can these organizations and government just come together to make sure that they work together to achieve the global goal for HIV and AIDS?
Of course, we understand the UNID is actually proposing 95-95-95 strategy by 2025. Of course, we'll achieve it, but again, not all will achieve it. And as I said some times back, we don't work in isolation. We work in partnerships and leveraging the available stakeholders to maximize on the impact. And anytime, like for instance, Gates of Hope, we work with different stakeholders. The government is there through the Ministry of Health, Thika Level 5. They have been very instrumental. Some of the training, they have been doing themselves as facilitators. Sometimes they come. Sometimes, us we're in mental health, but then they come even talk about fistula, they come talk about mental health, come and talk about teen pregnancy, talk about SGBV, all that. You see, so at the end of the day, we actually using 1% to get 90%.
90%.
So through partnerships and stakeholder engagement, we actually leverage very much. Actually, we have government agencies by Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Authority, MCA, very, very, very impactful. Then they're training on youth on micro and small economy, business enterprises, income generating activity. So, and we realize some of the causes of mental health is actually economic stagnation. If someone has no means of surviving, someone has no means of food, that's why people go and kill themselves. Others go and kupiga watu ngeta. You see, and if you actually provide a solution, add in as much as you provide a mental health or someone who is HIV, ana mwelekeo, you provide him mental health. You also need to hold his hand and provide this small training can lead you here and there and there. Then you do partnerships, you do linkages and referrals, and a few will get supported. I'm not saying is an instant support, is an instant gain or instant solution, but at least out of 10, if 2 or 3 get supported, they remember these other ones.
Exactly. So they'll work together to actually make the others also better. So before we head on on our break, maybe talk to us about the 95-95-95 strategy that you just mentioned.
Okay. Well, 95-95 strategy is one is actually one purely anytime you're talking about HIV and HIV pandemic. Actually, what comes people's mind or the proponent is to make sure that people living with HIV know their status. Actually, 90% of the people, 95% of the population know their status. And how do they know their status? They should be tested. And those who are tested and found they have HIV, 95% of those tested and they have HIV, they need to be linked to RT from medication. And those who are linked, the 95 that are linked to RT, they have their viral load suppressed, so that we have undetectable viral load. So that again, through that you are sure this person will live normal life.
Yeah.
There are no room for opportunistic diseases, and therefore they're able to, do everything they need to do just like any other person.
Just like any
because this is a condition.
Okay. Yes. So now, in case you didn't understand, Ama, you didn't get what 95 strategy is, now you have it. And with that, we had on a very short commercial break. When we come back, we will come back with more for you. Remember, the topic that we are handling is Let the Communities Lead, which was the theme for this year's World AIDS Day celebration. So guys, see you in a bit.
Katika kipindi tunakuletea wasanii.
What's up my guys? I go by the name Reynams.
Eti nikipita kwa macho na nipimia, na kama sina pesa unguwezi nipimia hapa Shenster the Poet manze.
Ngoma moto moto.
If you wanna show some love, show some love, but don't fake it. Hey, ndakumenya mawazo mako. Nani anedera shile. Oh, rutani waku.
Vichekesho mkisongaza, mahojiano moto moto, stori za wasanii pamoja na talanta za wasanii.
Rafiki wa kasi gani kama wapatikani wakati wa shida?
Na pia kwenye kipindi utabambika, utajijenga, utaelimika, utakuza talanta yako.
My name is Rebecca Mutie, I'm a model and I'm Afri Kenya. I'm a student. Napenda kusikiza kipindi cha Bonga na Katoni kila Jumatatu kuanzia saa 9 mpaka saa 10.
Kumbuka ni kwenye Bonga na Katoni ndani ya TAS TV kuanzia saa 9 hadi saa 10 kila siku ya Jumatatu.
This is Bonga na Katoni in TAS TV. Karibuni.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. Just in case I didn't mention, remember to follow TAS TV across all social media platforms. That is TAS TV_KE on Twitter and Instagram. TAS TV_official on TAS TV_official on Twitter, TAS TV_KE on Instagram and TikTok, TAS TV official on YouTube, TAS TV on Facebook, and www.tastv.co.ke on our website. Before to end break, tulikuwa tunaongelelea Let the Communities Lead. That was the World AIDS theme for 2023, and we mentioned a couple of things. We're just talking about the community involvement in the fight against HIV and AIDS. So now back to you, Griffins. What are some of the steps that are being taken just to make sure that the community has improved access to HIV treatment and care services?
Sure. One is ensuring that we have the CCC centers in the community.
Yeah.
I will tell you for free. Due to the stigma, we might not be taking medicine within the community, within the residential places where we live. We prefer taking medicine far from people who know us. Yeah. And to some extent, that may even make someone to relocate to where he's not known, so that at least he's able to take his medicine freely.
And he's more comfortable.
Exactly, more comfortable, yeah, and avoid a lot of judgment.
Yeah.
But again, one of the strategies that we used is just to make sure that community health volunteers are involved.
Yeah.
And this one you will realize they'll take medicine to the communities, especially to the households and to those the patients. Without, that creates a seamless transition, whereby yes, you're taking medicine, but no one knows what you're doing apart from and of course, I'll let you for free to know that anytime you're dealing with the HIV/AIDS, there's a consent form.
Yeah.
You need to, there's codes of conduct that you need to agree.
Yeah.
As a CHV, you need to, sign a code of conduct that whatever information you're handling, it remains between you and the partner you're working with, as well as household, as well as the client who's HIV positive. There's a consent, especially if it's below 20, below 18.
Yeah.
is still under the care of the parents.
Of the
So the
parents.
parents must also take responsibility by, signing the consent form that is doing it on behalf of the child.
Yeah.
And also the information confidentiality of the information, confidentiality of the data,
Yeah.
with even the facility that are offering the medicine and the medication. So those are some of the issues that we are using to make sure that at least there's no stigma. There's also freeness in terms of acquisition of those services,
Yeah.
as well as making sure that we have the SCASCO team, sub-county aid something.
Yeah.
Their work is actually to sensitize the community on the numbers of AIDS, new infection. Of course, there's the new infection and reinfection in the community. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they actually want to those initiatives that help to reduce the reinfection, because after infection, then we need to work downwards, not upwards toward
Yeah.
infection. So sensitization initiatives, also of course, this sensitization initiative cuts across from the youth to the key populations. These are people who use drugs, who inject drugs, people the lesbian, they're all people in the community and the structures. We cannot do away with them. Just the most important, just being able to sensitize them. The best way to because you can't say you'll stop them today and they stop today.
Yeah.
But you can do some kind of intervention. If you want to inject you don't use the needles. If you want to engage in your activities, make sure you use protection. Those who have issues with family planning, make sure you engage in family planning.
Yeah.
So those are some of and of course, sometimes you've seen, particularly there's an organization, a CBO called PENTA. PENTA is giving free family planning, special condoms. And I think that's also one of the best, because if they come and I saw people are used, just come give free condoms, some are taking boxes, and I'm happy to see people, there's no fear.
There's no fear.
Yeah, taking those family planning emergency pills and giving people, just to ensure that they're protecting themselves.
Yeah.
Make sure that people are aware. Building that knowledge and keep adding more on that knowledge is what I've seen the government do, of course, in partnership with other stakeholders. And I'm happy about it. That's such a kind of initiatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps actually reduce the spread.
Okay, so let's now talk about cultural barriers. In this day and era, we still have communities that actually believe, or their behaviors bado ni zile tu. They still don't believe that HIV ni kitu yenye iko. There are some that push away the community health promoters who come to actually sensitize them on this kind of on HIV and AIDS. So what are some of the ways that you actually use to get to this kind of communities, and how can this the issue of cultural barriers be dealt with?
Oh, well, yeah, I'll say one, some of the ways we've seen this happen is that yes, there are a few people who have passed on, and this was in the media sometimes. Someone is HIV, but what they believe, whatever the belief system they have, that they should not be taken to the hospital. They should take it to the wazee wa shamba or miti shamba.
Miti shamba.
And of course, you remember the Loliondo.
Yeah, the Loliondo story.
The Loliondo saga. The people passed on.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is the focal people in the community, the chiefs, the pastors. Yeah, the Nyumba Kumi people, the focal people, the influencers in the community. And these are people, the peer educators, the mentor mothers. They need to be given more, they need to be facilitated more to be able to reach these people in the community. And don't just try to break those barriers. Equally, most communities in Kenya and Africa, indeed, they have a kind of patriarchal system where if you want to meet a lady, you have to go through the man, you have to seek permission. Even some of the communities have been serving some of the informal settlements. Before I reach the lady, the woman, the house, I need to go through the man.
Yeah.
More than not, the man does not understand the kind of service you want to bring. So you find, you realize you find a barrier.
Barrier, yeah.
Therefore, that one deters you from offering service to that household. And now, by the virtue that you're serving almost 3,000 households, one household refuses, you not giving much attention. Exactly. You actually move away. And probably that person needed more attention than the other person. So I think the best way to use actually is to ensure you meet the main. men involvement.
Yeah.
And I'll say some of the strategy that men involvement have used in terms of male voluntary circumcision. When you start doing that kind of strategy, it's actually bearing fruits. You've seen those areas that have high HIV prevalence through just male voluntary circumcision.
Yeah.
HIV prevalence gone down, you see. And I think the same strategy should be used where involving men as the head of the households.
Yeah.
Of course, just appreciating that they are the heads of the household.
Yeah.
And of course, involving them in activities, in terms of positive parenting. We have positive parenting, as a parent or as a guardian, what is expected of you, what can you do to help, reduce instead of HIV, instead of GBV.
Yeah.
Just by involving these men, it actually makes you easy to access those houses and provide services.
Exactly.
Of course, don't forget the government and the local authority. The people trust the chiefs, the people trust the Nyumba, they know the houses, they know how to deal with people. Of course, I'm not saying people are easy, people are difficult, but not all of them are this, but the others can be had through those focal people in the community. Yeah.
Okay, so looking forward, looking ahead in the future, what are some of how can we ensure that there's the sustainability of these community-led initiatives in the fight in the fight against HIV, to make sure that everybody in the community are well taken care of?
Let me go back to the Universal Health Coverage, UHC. That strategy is a good one.
Yeah,
of empowering the community health volunteers to ensure that, because they're the people who are on the ground.
Yeah.
People close to the households, people close to this patient, people close to everyone in the community.
Yeah.
And above all, they are people who are trusted. I'll prefer that the government should, provide the PPEs, those the equipment that support this focal people to move to the community without, because them they work day and night. I can't tell you CHPs work only there; they work day and night. A household has an expectant mother. The middle of night, she need to give birth. She calls a CHP.
Yeah.
Now CHP in her own way, in his own way, must look away where to get an ambulance, where to get support to take this, and they're not paid.
Yeah.
So one thing I would prefer that the government should actually see how to remunerate the CHPs.
The CHPs.
To the government to actually add. By the time a client or a person needs the emergency support system, at least it must have had the first aid. And this first aid can also go to CHPs, to other people. So they need to be empowered. CHP must be empowered in terms of mental health training. Even a 6 months course that can be catered by the government or development partners, they should be trained just to be able to provide those basic services before now they refer to specialized services.
Yes.
And that will actually create more resilience, community resilience with the people and every other issue that are affecting. Because the community is a whole ecosystem, suffering from mental health, another suffering from CGBV, another suffering from malaria, and also from teen friends, OC. And all these as CHPs, one who had the right to link providers. So one thing is empowerment of CHPs. Another thing is mapping out who are the available partners.
Yeah.
It helps so much to reduce a lot of stress, because you realize there's a partner who is specialized in mental health, another specialized in GBV, another specialized in teenage pregnancy. So by the time you're providing means of this person getting support in OFI, these are the available partner will actually provide also services. So we need to do a lot of partnership engagement through mapping who are the available partners and synergize our efforts, so that there's a seamless service provision, there's an engagement, there's a sustainability, and also there's also what we call resilience to a lot of issues that affect the community.
All right, so with that, guys, I believe information is power, and what we do is to spread awareness, talk to you about what is happening in the society, talk to you about HIV and AIDS, how important it is to actually be aware of anything and everything concerning HIV and AIDS that's happening around you, so that you as an individual could actually take care of any other person who is close to you. Unajua mtu, something is happening, refer them to a specialist. Unajua mtu, there's a way he or she is handling something that you don't like, also refer them to a specialist. Just make sure that each and every day, my message will be, take care of your neighbor just like you're going to take care of yourself. And as always, we celebrate love here. We celebrate persons living with HIV and AIDS, and HIV is not the end of life. Ukipatikana nayo, just go to hospital, seek medical attention, take your meds as prescribed, and you'll have a normal life just like any other person. Okay, so tukimaliza kabisa, tuambie the last words.
The last words, be a sister's keeper, brother's keeper. Let us know that AIDS does not kill. It's a virus. And we have many other diseases with virus, and they don't kill. So let's love ourselves, seek medical attention, and spread the love.
Yes, guys. So until we meet again next week, remember to spread love, have positive energy, positive vibes all the way, because hapa tunapendana na tunapenda watu na tunapenda majirani zetu. So my name is Lavin Nyagwa, and this is Counting the Red Ribbon. God bless you.
Okay.
Get informed on what is happening in our political scenes and people who are making headlines in different parts of the country and the world right here at TAS TV. Join me, Lavin Nyagoa, as I bring to you weekly news highlights that are factual every Friday at 4 o'clock. See you then.